They say lightning doesn't strike twice. But in the chaotic world of love and hip-hop, betrayal never sleeps, and neither does Kirk Frost. Just when fans thought he had finally turned a new leaf, built back trust with Rasheeda, and buried the scandalous days of secret babies and hidden apartments, BOOM and other bomb drops, and this time, it's messier than ever. Kirk has been caught red-handed cheating again, and not with some nameless side chick from the club. Oh no, this time the alleged affair is with another cast member. Someone close, someone Rasheeda trusted, someone whose name fans are now scrambling to decode as the receipts slowly trickle out. Social media is in full meltdown mode. DMs are leaking, screenshots are flying, and Rasheeda, she's not staying silent this time. In a now viral, emotionally raw livestream, she broke down in tears, full face, no filter, no PR team, calling the betrayal the final straw and saying, "Y'all don't know the half of what I've endured." Her voice cracked, her hands trembled, and in that moment, viewers knew this wasn't just TV drama. This was real pain, pouring out in front of millions. And if you thought the cheating scandal was the story, think again, because what followed was a full-blown war. Cast members picking sides, former flings returning with receipts, even Kirk's own family stepping into the spotlight, revealing secrets that were never meant to see daylight. Allegations, lies, unexpected alliances. It's a domino effect of deceit that's left everyone gasping for air. So, who is the mystery woman? What pushed Rasheeda over the edge? And how far will Kirk go this time to cover his tracks? Buckle up, because this isn't just another love and hip-hop scandal, it's a betrayal so deep, it might just bring the whole house crashing down. The cameras had barely stopped rolling on the last reunion when whispers began echoing through the love and hip-hop Atlanta set like wildfire. Something was off. The crew noticed at first Kirk was quieter than usual, sneaking in late, leaving early, avoiding eye contact with anyone who might start asking questions. Rasheeda, on the other hand, was doing her best to smile for the cameras, but something, inner energy, didn't lie. Her eyes weren't glowing. Her posture was stiff. And every time Kirk entered the room, the tension became a living, breathing thing. The cast knew something had happened, but nobody knew just how deep the betrayal ran until a single Instagram DM started circulating through the inner circle. A blurry photo, a silhouette, two bodies pressed close in what looked like a hotel hallway. One unmistakably Kirk, thanks to that signature red leather jacket he wears like armor. The other, at first, unrecognizable. But with a little digging, fans pieced it together, and when the truth came out, jaws hit the floor. Kirk wasn't cheating with a stranger. He wasn't cheating with a groupie or an industry chick. He was allegedly sneaking around with none other than Kendra Robinson, yes, the fiancée, turned wife of young Jock, the same woman who once held her own with poise and shade all in one breath. The betrayal was nuclear. Not only had Kirk broken his vows again, but he had done it within the circle, among friends, castmates, people Rasheeda had sat across from at dinner, laughed with, defended in green room shade sessions. It wasn't just cheating. It was a knife through every ounce of loyalty that had been holding their already shaky marriage together. At first, Rasheeda stayed silent. She'd been through this before: public embarrassment, whispered rumors, late-night crying sessions, off camera. She knew how to hold it together, but this time, it broke her. The day the story leaked, Rasheeda had just finished filming a promo shoot for her boutique. She walked outside, phone in hand, scrolling through the usual mentions until she saw the headline, "Kirk Frost caught creeping with castmate, is it Kendra Robinson?" She clicked the article, heart pounding, and there it was. The same photo. The red jacket. The woman's hair tucked under a hoodie, but the distinctive gold anklet, Kendra's signature. She felt her knees give way. Her assistant rushed over to catch her, but Rasheeda waved her off. "I'm good," she whispered, even as her throat tightened and her chest felt like it was caving in. But she wasn't good. She was shattered. Back home, she locked herself in the bedroom. The tears came fast, not because she was shocked deep down. She'd always known Kirk was a habitual line stepper. But because this time, it was someone she knew. Someone who knew her. Someone who had told her, to her face, "Girl, if a man ever played me the way Kirk did you, I'd be gone." The betrayal wasn't just romantic, it was personal, intimate, surgical. What made things worse was Kirk's reaction. Instead of immediately denying the rumors or pleading for forgiveness, he went quiet, too quiet. His silence screamed guilt. And when he finally spoke, it wasn't the apology Rasheeda was bracing for. It was deflection. We all groan, he said in a shady comment under a gossip blog's post. A picture, don't tell the whole story. Fans went ballistic. Oh, so you did get caught. Why is it always you, Kirk? Rasheeda deserves better, and you know it. Within hours, Kirk was trending nationwide, not for music, not for business, but for being the repeat offender in Atlanta's messiest saga. But nothing could have prepared the world for what came next. Rasheeda went live. She sat in her living room, no makeup, hair tied up, wearing one of Kirk's old hoodies. The screen lit up with viewers within seconds. 10,000, then 20, then 50,000. People were waiting to see if she'd break through. At first she didn't speak. She just stared at the camera, tears streaming down her cheeks. The comment section lit up. Say something sis, we love you. Leave him please. Finally, she spoke. I'm so tired, she whispered. Y'all, I've given everything. My youth, my love, my brand. And every time I think we're past it, every time I believe in second chances, this happens. Again. Her voice cracked. I believed him when he said he'd changed. I stood by him when everybody told me not to. When the world clowned me, when I wanted to walk away, I stayed. And now, he doing this. With her, the her didn't need a name. Everyone knew who she meant. I trusted her, Rasheeda said. I let her in my home. We broke bread. And the whole time, she out here sneaking with my husband? What kind of demon do you gotta be to do that? The rawness of her pain hit people hard. It wasn't just a love and hip-hop moment. It was a human one. Millions watched her crumble and it lit a fire in the fanbase. The internet turned on. Kirk like wolves, sensing blood, memes, edits, threads, calling for Rasheeda to finally level up and leave for good. But the twist? Kendra remained silent. Not a word, not a denial, not a confirmation. Her Instagram, wiped clean. No stories, no posts, just silence. Until 3 days later, Kendra posted a black screen on her IG story. One sentence. Y'all, believe what y'all want. I know the truth. That's it. No explanation. No empathy. Just passive defiance. And that's when young Jock stepped in. On his morning radio show, Jock couldn't avoid the elephant in the room. His co-hosts danced around it, but finally, Jock broke the ice. Look, he said, voice tight. Y'all want me to go in on my wife. I ain't finna do that on air. But I'll say this, if what's being said is true, then it ain't just my marriage that's in trouble. It's the whole foundation of what we stand on. Loyalty, trust, and yeah, some of y'all really fake as hell. The tension was undeniable. Fans started speculating if Jock and Kendra were done, if Rasheeda was preparing to leave Kirk. And behind the scenes, the cast was spiraling. Producers smelled blood in the water. Calls were made. Emergency scenes were scheduled. A special mid-season episode was ordered. Because this drama wasn't just off-screen anymore, it had taken over the entire franchise. And in the midst of it all, Rasheeda made a decision. She packed a bag and left the house. Rasheeda didn't say a word when she left the house. No texts, no calls, no dramatic speeches. Just grabbed her bag, her car keys, and vanished into the rainy Atlanta night. The silence spoke louder than any argument could have. Kirk didn't even chase after her, at least. That's what the Ring camera footage revealed when fans analyzed the leaked clip of her pulling away. He just stood in the doorway, arms crossed, like a man who knew he'd already lost and didn't have the courage to admit it. The very next day, Rasheeda's mother, Charlene, pulled up to the Frost house. And baby, she came in swinging. She banged on the front door, didn't even wait for Kirk to answer before yelling, "You lucky I ain't bring my belt. 'Cause I should've whooped you back in 2015 when you had that baby outside your marriage. You ain't never gone change." Kirk opened the door and mumbled, "It's not what it looks like." Charlene charged inside. "Oh really? So we supposed to believe them pictures were photoshopped? You think I'm stupid?" She paced the living room like a lioness defending her cub, every vein in her neck visible. "My daughter gave you everything, and you gave her lies, excuses, and now this, with someone from the show. You couldn't even cheat privately." The scene was chaotic. Kirk tried to speak, but every time he opened his mouth, Charlene cut him off with another reed sharper than the last. "You're just mad she finally left your sorry behind. And when she comes back, she better not be coming back here." Kirk eventually shouted, "You don't know everything, Charlene," to which she fired back, "Don't I? I know a cheater when I see one. And if there's one thing I raised Rasheeda to do, it's to leave when enough is enough." That clip hit social media like lightning. Fans crowned Shirlene Mother of the Year, and not Shirlene coming in with the holy belt of truth, started trending on Twitter. Meanwhile, Rasheeda had gone radio silent. Her boutique was temporarily closed. Her team issued a vague statement, citing personal reasons. But behind the scenes, she was holed up in a luxury condo downtown processing everything. Candy Burris had offered her the space, wanting her friend to have a safe place to land. And that's where Rasheeda started filming her own private diary entries. Not for TV, not for fans, just for herself. But one of those entries was leaked. In the dimly lit room, Rasheeda stared into her phone camera, eyes swollen from crying. I feel stupid," she whispered. "All over again. I keep thinking, what did I do wrong? What did I miss? How did I let this happen again?" She paused, wiping her face. "And then I remember it's not me, it's him. He's the one who keeps ruining everything. And the fact that he had the audacity to sleep with someone I trusted. That's a new kind of evil." The pain in her voice was unmistakable. But while Rasheeda mourned, Kirk was scheming. He reached out to a producer from Love and Hip Hop, desperate to control the narrative. He wanted to film a confession, something to set the record straight, but the producers weren't having it. They wanted raw. They wanted confrontation. They wanted fireworks. And they wanted Kendra. Kendra, for her part, had remained silent until paparazzi caught her outside a salon. When asked if the rumors were true, she simply said, "No comment." But the way she smiled, that sly smirk, it didn't sit right with fans. That smirk launched 1,000 theories. Was she proud? Was she guilty? Or was this all a setup? And then, as if scripted by the drama gods themselves, Jock showed up at the Frost household. The clip was short, but explosive. Jock pulled into the driveway in his black Escalade, slammed the door, and stormed to the front. Kirk met him on the porch. "You sleepin' with my wife?" Jock asked, eyes blazing. Kirk raised his hands. "Man, calm down, answer the question, Kirk." Jock shouted, "It ain't what you think, so you saying the footage is fake? The picture, the text messages she sent me crying, all fake?" Kirk looked down. "I messed up." Boom. That line echoed across every platform, memes, soundbites, TikToks. Everyone was saying it. "I messed up." And the silence that followed it, even louder. Jock didn't hit him. He didn't yell. He just looked at him, full of disappointment. "You just blew up to marriages. For what?" Kirk didn't answer. Jock walked away. That night, both Rasheeda and Kendra trended globally. Fans were torn. Some wanted Rasheeda to rise, to finally be done for good. Others were hunting for clues about what Kendra's next move would be. And the streets were talking, was there more to this story than what was being shown? Because then came the most mind-blowing twist yet. A former producer anonymously reached out to a gossip page with what they called the real tea. They claimed Kirk and Kendra's fling wasn't recent. It started over a year ago, during filming breaks while Jock was away promoting a show out of town. The producer alleged that Kirk and Kendra would meet at a private rental property paid for, with a business card under Kirk's management company. Even worse, there were rumors that Rasheeda had suspected something last year but had been gaslit into thinking she was just paranoid. She asked Kirk about it, the source claimed, and he laughed, said she was trippin'. Meanwhile, Kendra played innocent and even gave her fashion tips while texting Kirk under a fake name. If true, this wasn't just betrayal. It was a long con. A plot so layered and cruel, it shook the fandom to its core. And suddenly Rasheeda's quiet collapse made even more sense. That's when she posted one cryptic tweet. "I kept receipts. Don't push me." The internet lost it. What receipts? Were there more secrets? Was Rasheeda about to burn it all down? That weekend, the cast was scheduled to film a surprise sit-down, orchestrated by Mona Scott-Young herself. The goal? To get everyone in the same room and let the cameras roll. Producers were tight-lipped, but insiders said one thing was guaranteed: Rasheeda and Kendra would face each other. For the first time. On camera. And when that moment came, all hell broke loose. The production set was nothing short of a pressure cooker. Everyone in the building could feel it. Security was doubled. Makeup artists were on edge. And Mona herself was on site, pacing nervously, clutching her clipboard, like a lifeline. This wasn't just another scene. This was the showdown everyone had been waiting for. When Rasheeda walked in, she was a storm in heels. No glam squad. No entourage. Just her, dressed in all black like it was a funeral, and maybe, in her mind, it was the end of a marriage. The death of a friendship. Her eyes were sharp, her body language stiff, and there was no trace of the tears she'd shed in private. This Rasheeda wasn't broken. She was about to break someone else. Kendra arrived minutes later, flanked by a stylist and a media consultant. Code for damage control? She wore a white jumpsuit, flawless makeup, and an air of false calm that screamed, "I'm ready for battle." But behind her expensive sunglasses, her eyes darted nervously. She knew what was coming. She just didn't know how hard it would hit. The two women sat across from each other. No handshake, no greeting, just tension so thick it could cut through steel. Mona's voice echoed off camera. "We're rolling." Silence. Then Rasheeda leaned forward and said, "You slept with my husband." Kendra didn't flinch. "That's not how it happened." Rasheeda blinked slowly. "Then how did it happen, Kendra? Enlighten me. Because from where I'm sitting, you betrayed me in the worst possible way. And you did it with a man who's humiliated me enough for 3 seasons. Kendra's voice was calm, but her hands trembled. "It wasn't a relationship. It was a mistake. A one-time thing." Rasheeda laughed, cold, bitter. "A mistake is dropping your phone in the toilet? What y'all did was deliberate, planned, rehearsed, and then hidden like cowards." Kendra stiffened. "You don't know everything." That's when Rasheeda stood up. "Oh no. So what don't I know? That you were sneaking behind Jock's back, too. That you smiled in my face while you were laying in my bed." The room erupted. Producers scrambled. Mona stepped forward, whispering to Rasheeda, trying to calm her down. But Rasheeda wasn't backing off. "I loved you like a sister," she said, voice cracking. "And you made me the fool again. I let my guard down and you stabbed me in the back. You and him." Kendra finally snapped. "You think you're the only one who's been hurt in this. Jock cheats too. I've been covering for him for years. Kirk was just don't you dare." Rasheeda screamed, pointing. "Don't you dare stand here and try to justify being a homewrecker, because your man is trash too." Security stepped in. Not to pull them apart, but to stop the room from exploding. That scene. It went viral before it even aired. Leaked footage hit Twitter, and within hours, Rasheeda vs. Kendra was trending worldwide. Clips circulated with dramatic soundtracks, lip readings, and side-by-side reactions. The internet crowned Rasheeda the queen of composure until she wasn't, because the very next day, a voice note leaked. A message allegedly left by Rasheeda to Kirk, filled with rage, pain, and pure fire. "You broke me," she said in the recording. "You ruined every good thing we had, and the worst part, you don't even care. You act like it's just another scandal, just another day. But I'm done being your storyline. I'm done being your anchor while you sail off and wreck everything in sight." The voice note was raw, unfiltered. And it split the fandom in half. Some believed Rasheeda was finally ready to walk away. Others feared it was just another cycle break. Cry, make up, repeat. But then came the twist no one saw coming. Jock filed for divorce. It hit the headlines like a wrecking ball. Jock ends marriage with Kendra following cheating scandal, one blog wrote. Another was more blunt. "You cheat, you lose." Jock cuts ties with Kendra. The filing included claims of emotional betrayal, irreconcilable differences, and cited the now viral footage as part of the public humiliation he'd suffered. Kendra didn't respond publicly, but her mother did. In a since-deleted post, Kendra's mom called Jock a manipulator, claiming that he knew about the affair for months and used it to control Kendra behind the scenes. That post sparked a whole new war because Jock clapped back. "I might have made mistakes," he wrote on his IG story, "but I never betrayed a friend." What Kendra and Kirk did, that's something you don't come back from. Meanwhile, Kirk, he was still trying to spin it. He released a YouTube video titled, "My Side of the Story." Sitting on a leather couch, speaking in a voice that tried to sound remorseful but came off more like rehearsed damage control. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen," he said. "Me and Kendra, we were in a bad place emotionally. We connected. That's not an excuse, but it's the truth." Fans weren't having it. Comments lit up with fury. "You've been in a bad place for 10 years, Kirk. Stop blaming your trash behavior on emotions. Rasheeda deserves a statue for putting up with you this long." But the real twist. Rasheeda posted her video next. In it, she didn't cry. She didn't yell. She simply said, "Sometimes, you don't get closure, you get clarity. And that's what I found." Then she pulled out a folder. This She said, holding it up, is every receipt, every lie, every betrayal. I'm not dropping it all yet, but just know, I'm done being quiet. Mic drop. The fans went crazy. Speculation erupted. What was in the folder? Could there be even more secrets? More affairs? Business deals gone wrong? And then, the biggest twist yet, an anonymous source leaked a screenshot of an NDA signed by Kirk and Kendra, dated almost a year ago. Proof that they had been covering something up far longer than anyone knew. Now fans were calling for Rasheeda to sue. To expose. To burn it all down. But Rasheeda wasn't rushing. She was calm, calculated, and she ended her video with one sentence that chilled the world. I don't need revenge. Karma's already doing the work. And karma, it seemed, was just getting started. As the days passed, the silence from Kirk was louder than any of his past apologies. No more statements. No more spin. Just a trail of broken trust, viral receipts, and a marriage that had clearly reached its breaking point. Rasheeda, meanwhile, was doing what she always did, serene, but this time, it wasn't for the cameras. This time, it was for herself. She returned to social media slowly, posting motivational quotes, glimpses of her boutique being revamped, and pictures of herself smiling, again really smiling. Fans noticed the difference immediately. She looks lighter, one comment read, like someone who finally put the weight down. Another fan said, Rasheeda got that I'm done for real this time, glow. But behind the scenes, there were moves being made. Rasheeda's attorney had been contacted. Quiet inquiries were being made into the couple's business assets, property, brands, contracts, everything. Sources close to the Frost family confirmed that the boutique, once a shared venture, was being restructured to reflect full ownership under Rasheeda alone. She wasn't just walking away from the marriage, she was reclaiming everything she'd helped build, brick by brick. Then came the reunion taping. Normally a parade of staged fights, reunion episodes often leaned into over-the-top antics. But this one had real tension, real stakes, real pain. Rasheeda walked onto the stage wearing a stunning emerald green dress that hugged every curve like armor. Her hair was slicked back. Her heels clicked with every step like warning shots, and Kirk, he sat on the opposite couch, alone, looking like a man who'd already lost. Kendra wasn't there. Whether it was fear, guilt, or shame, she opted out of the reunion entirely. Mona addressed it in the intro. Due to personal reasons, Kendra Robinson will not be joining us tonight. The crowd booed instantly. But Jock, he was there. And he wasn't playing. When asked about his divorce, Jock didn't hold back. I gave her everything. Loyalty, love, a ring. And she threw it away for a few nights with a man who couldn't even stay loyal to his own wife. The audience gasped. Rasheeda nodded solemnly. I don't hate her, Jock added. But I pity her. Because when the cameras stop, and the fame fades, all she have is a reputation built on betrayal. And then, Mona did the unthinkable. She asked Kirk, live on stage, if he regretted what he did. He hesitated. Looked at Rasheeda. Then, at the audience, I regret hurting her, he said softly. But I don't regret what it taught me. Rasheeda narrowed her eyes. What it taught you? What about what it cost me? Kirk looked down. I was selfish. I always thought she'd stay, no matter what. And now, I don't even know who I am without her. The crowd was silent. It was the most vulnerable Kirk had ever been. But for Rasheeda, it wasn't enough. I gave you chance after chance, she said, voice steady but sharp. I took you back after things most women would have never tolerated, and you still threw it away. You didn't just, you too disrespected our marriage, our family, and me as a woman. Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. I stayed quiet for years. Protected you. Covered for you. But not anymore. This chapter is closed. The audience erupted in applause. Kirk just nodded, eyes full of regret. For once, he didn't defend himself. He knew there was nothing left to say. But the drama wasn't done. As the cast gathered for a post-show toast, a production assistant handed Rasheeda a package. No return label. Just her name, scribbled in messy handwriting. Curious, she opened it. Inside were printed screenshots. More texts, more images. This time, not just of Kirk and Kendra, of other women. DMEs dated as recently as a month ago. One included a message from a woman saying, I thought you said y'all were divorced already. Rasheeda's face went pale. She turned to the camera crew. Y'all knew about this. The producers scrambled. We didn't see this until now, one said. But Rasheeda wasn't buying it. You mean to tell me this just magically shows up on the finale night? Nah. Somebody's trying to keep this going. She turned to Mona. You want your ratings? You got M, but I'm out. And with that, Rasheeda walked off set. The scene was left hanging in eerie silence after the storm. The next morning, Rasheeda posted one final message to her followers. I loved hard. I fought harder. But now, I choose peace. No more damage control. No more pretending. Just truth, healing, and starting over. The message was simple, but powerful. Kirk remains silent. Jock moved on, diving into work and staying focused on co-parenting. And Kendra, she disappeared from social media entirely. No posts. No stories. Just a blank account and a reputation in shambles. But fans weren't done. We want Rasheeda's story on her terms. They demanded. Hashtags like hashtag RASHEEDA, rebuilds, and hashtag Kirk who flooded timelines. And some even started a petition asking for Rasheeda to get her own spin-off one without the mess. Just focused on her growth, healing, and revenge glow-up. Rumors began circulating that producers were already in talks. A new show, a new chapter, one where Rasheeda is the boss, the queen, the survivor. Because after everything she endured, she didn't just survive the drama. She owned it, and the empire she's about to build. Oh baby, it's going to leave every cheater in the dust.